What's up, guys? We're here at AMC Town Square with Chasing Cinema.
Mr. James Hsu.com. Oh, that's your line.
.com. We got Tom Cruise tonight.
Yes, Jack Reacher, Never Go Back. Joining Tom Cruise, we have Cobie Smulders. We have, I don't think there's really anyone else like really major, in the movie.
You got Tom Cruise, you're good to go.
Exactly. Jack Reacher, what were your thoughts back in 2012, 2013?
Loved it.
Yeah.
And Rosamund Pike?
That was a great movie. That was a lot of fun.
I loved it.
He plays this, this badass vigilante.
I loved it.
I am with you. We both really enjoyed it. And
his type of humor, and he's just this guy who's just like witty as hell.
Yeah, he's cheeky. Yeah. And he's kind of not slowed down since Jack Reacher.
Edge of Tomorrow. Hey,
Edge of Tomorrow was great.
The past two Mission Impossibles.
The past, technically all the Mission Impossibles are great. Yeah, they're all pretty solid. Yeah. And Oblivion, me and you kind of were like, about
that one was okay.
Yeah. But
still, bad.
No bad movies. Bad. And especially off of Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, I am looking forward to the sequel of Jack Reacher.
Woo!
So, 2 hours though. 2 hours and 10 minutes. A bit long.
Bring it.
And I'm hoping that this movie can satisfy me just like the first one.
And that hopefully we don't say we're never going to go back.
To a Jack Reacher movie.
Yeah. Alright, so we just got a Jack Reacher, Never Go Back. This one wasn't as good as the first one. It wasn't, bro. Like, the first one was so cheeky, was so witty, was so like, this guy, you just do not mess with Jack Reacher. And this one, but I will say, so real quick, it's not bad. Wasn't bad, but it wasn't the first Jack Reacher, and it wasn't witty, and he wasn't. I don't know. He was still BA in this one, and even when it came to the BA part badness of himself, he wasn't as bad as. This one. Everything, he just wasn't as much as he was. And then they try to throw in this, I guess they didn't try, they threw in this daughter part, which you'll learn about, whether it's his daughter or not, you'll learn that. Anyway. Even that was just like, nah. And then, I don't know, just everything was just but it wasn't bad. I watched it, and then you said it was a little long, and yeah, it felt long. And normally, though, the Jack Reacher could have been 3 hours. Yeah, bah, 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 bah.
It was like someone's like, hey, we should turn down the volume in the first Jack Reacher. And it was like everything, it was like they went in the wrong direction. Yeah. Like the excitement wasn't there. I remember watching Jack Reacher and you were just like, oh, dude. There was none of that in there. There was one moment and it was like one of the final moments in the movie that I thought was actually pretty badass. But that was like the only time I was like, really like, oh, damn, Jack Reacher's badass. But I think what I liked so much about the first Jack Reacher is that he was this vigilante helping these people get out of situations, and now we go back into the military situation, and I think that already kind of makes this movie a little bit more complicated and more stuffed, and you find out this whole entire huge plot that's going on, and you're just like, what the hell is going on? Like, Jack Reacher just kicked bad guy's ass in the first movie who did wrong, and then, like you said, we have this subplot about this girl who could potentially be his daughter, and I didn't care.
Is his daughter.
Yeah, if she could be her daughter or not, and I didn't care. I didn't, to be honest, we said before, I don't know if we were filming or not, she's a newbie, and it shows, because she was not very good or not very convincing in the movie. I didn't care what was going on. I just didn't care. Like, this whole story was so blown up, and we just all wanted to watch Jack Reacher kick ass. And, and it really kind of shows that they really wanted to turn this down, because the movie starts off as a result of a fight. And I was like, whoa, why would they not show us Jack Reacher kicking ass like they did so well in the first movie? They just skipped the fights. And to me, I think that was like that's what's wrong with the movie. This movie is just so worried about plot and showing Jack Reacher as an emotional side and possibly accepting the fact that he has a daughter. All these things that I just didn't care about got in the way of Jack Reacher being a fun BA movie. I keep saying that, but that's how I felt with the first one. It was just like so, he was just so badass, and this movie just doesn't feel the same. They really toned it down, and it went in the wrong direction. I agree with you. I don't think it's an awful movie. I don't think it's bad, but it's definitely not one that I would ever care to see again. It was really...
I've rewatched the first one.
Yeah, the first one I own. Like, I love... I mean, that has some really great moments, and this is a movie I think is easy forgettable, too. You know, not that I could remember plot from plot or like scene from the first Jack Reacher, but there are some particular moments that I could vividly remember.
And there's lines in the first one where I'm like,
yeah, and that's another thing is that, you know, it's just they tried so hard to make this whole connection between him and this young girl so strong that it felt like more of like a forced, you know, like typical comedy about like two opposites kind of blending, rather than like having Jack Reacher kind of play more of himself, who's just a cheeky, witty dude, at least from the first movie. And yeah, I think they just went in all the opposite directions for this movie, and it did not work for me.
I will literally cry in the theater if they turn the volume down for John Wick 2.
Yeah,
I will literally cry because that's on the volume thing. That's on a level 10. I want John Wick 2 at a level 15.
Yeah,
and if I leave that theater thinking, oh, they just pulled a Jack Reacher,
that'd be very disappointing.
Sad. This was not this.
And I mean, and I just don't understand why they. I mean, obviously this was a different filmmaker. This was Zwick. I forget his first name, and I'm spacing on what he's done. But I do know, like the director of the first Jack Reacher ended up doing Rogue Nation. Obviously, he went on to do that, and they were both really, really effective. This being another director, I just wanted to go his own way, and I think it was a mistake. So
the last one was Chris McQuarrie.
The original director.
Yeah.
Who did the Rogue Nation,
yeah.
And this guy, I know he did something, and I know it wasn't something that I really liked, so, I mean...
It happens.
It's a bummer, you know. Hopefully Jack Reacher comes back, and even though I don't think this movie's very good, I don't think I'd count it out to see another Jack Reacher. Hopefully they you know, could learn from their mistake and kind of kick it back up, because obviously, according to the Rotten Tomato score, we're not the only one that feels that way.
Yeah, IGN give it best score to like 5.
I don't know if it'll do very well though. Like I don't know if a lot of people are
I actually don't think we're gonna get another one now.
Yeah, and well, I don't know though, because my whole these past couple weeks, my predictions of box office have just been completely off. I was like the other week, I said that I didn't think Miss Peregrine would do well at all, and ended up dominating the box office that week. But nonetheless, I don't know if we're going to get another Jack Reacher, which is a shame. But hopefully that means Tom Cruise will be going on to do bigger and better things.
Edward Zwick.
Edward Zwick, yeah. And he was the director of this film, and I just don't think he took in the right direction. Yeah. That's a bummer.
Don't want to be rude, but yeah. I didn't like it. Or it was fine.
Yeah. It was, well, I think even fine is kind of like a little bit generous, because it was really disappointing, and it did feel long and it did drag.
I was just like,
yeah, I know and then like I think the closing scene is very much replica of the beginning of Spectre, which
Spectre wasn't good.
And Spectre wasn't good, but that opening scene was pretty cool, and like the huge Day of the Dead festival. And this movie, like the whole chase sequence and parade and final climax, just did not feel exciting at all. And it's just like,
yeah, because in the final fight of the first Jack Reacher was like,
yeah, and then like the fourth like it's one of those things where like it's an annoyingly like predictable movement that's going to take place, and you know exactly where it's going, and it's just it takes a lot of the fun out of it. But what that final moments, the big finale from that climax is pretty badass. I'll give them that. But other than that, oh, and then like the fact that the huntsman is, I believe the movie calls him, or the hunter. Like we find out like maybe an hour and 10 minutes in the movie isn't even like the main bad guy, and then the main bad guy like ends up like not even being a real threat, and he's end up like taken care of like that. It's just like, okay, why is this movie going on when the guy in charge has been, you know, yeah. So not very good. Bummer. But I also reviewed Ouija Origin of Evil. You can check that white eye right up there, as well as my week 40 and 41 updates. And also go check out this man's channel. You know, here you hear about what movies to see. On his channel, you can learn and make yourself something better.
Get all
and
jacked up.
happier than you are. Yeah. You know, learn something today. I mean, I know you learned Jack Reacher is not a particularly great movie, but learn something more important that'll help you change your life. Miss James Hsu's channel right up there. And that's gonna be it.
Next week, 7 days later, yo.
We have the third installment from the Dan Brown novels. Shu was so excited he passed out. He said,
I already know, like, and I'm not meaning to, I'm gonna fall asleep in the theater.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm gonna be so bored, but...
I don't remember...
1 or 2.
No, I remember 2, because I liked 2. And that was like one people were like, oh god. The
Da Vinci Code
The Da Vinci Code, I couldn't even remember the name. The Da Vinci Code and the sequel, Angels versus Demons,
Yeah.
or Angel and Demons. I don't think it was versus. And now we have.
That's a Batman.
Yeah, we have Inferno. So.
Fire.
I'd have to. I mean, maybe we should watch the first two to get prepared.
Can't. I didn't like them.
No interest. Yeah.
Literally no
oh,
interest.
Man, I should. Though,
I'll be here.
I'm sure,
no
like
interest.
Inferno, we're gonna be like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah. Oh, I know I will. Yeah, but wait a minute.
Wait.
While everyone else is like.
First of all, who's Tom Cruise? Why are, Tom Hanks. What the hell's he doing? What's his job in the first place? You know, like, it's basic stuff that I don't
No, because the
remember at
trailer annoyed me when he's like, he like robbed something. He's like, that's not me. It looks like you. Bum, bum, bum. I'm like, I don't know. That to me just seems lame.
Even liking the second one, I could like just say like my excitement level is not there at all, and it's just kind of it's going to seem more of like a chore than entertainment.
Oh, it is a chore.
But hopefully we're surprised.
Is there any other movies that week?
No, next week is just Inferno. So we'll be enjoying our occasional, our very occasional.
I might actually say it's the first movie of the year. Yeah. That I don't want to watch.
You don't want to see?
Yeah, but I will. I will, and I will be here.
I'll give you
credit.
credit.
I think it'll be the first. Yeah.
It's okay because basically we're just kind of winding through the storm because after this week,
November's gonna be fantastic.
November and December are gonna just be hitting you every week.
Doctor Strange, Allied,
Trolls. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Kind of. Moana.
Oh, can't wait.
We got a lot of good stuff coming out in the next
Brad
week.
Pitt though, Marion Cotillard. Robert Zemeckis?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
I can't remember the title.
Allied.
I know what you're talking about. Oh yeah, Allied. Okay.
That movie looks so freaking good. I can't wait to find out the ending, dude. Whether she's a spy or not. I can't wait.
Oh, I'm pumped for that movie. Even though that movie caused a lot of heat because a lot of people say
hubba.
like Marion Cotillard played a key member in the Brangelina.
Hubba.
Anyway, next week we'll be here talking about Inferno. Even if you don't want us to be.
We'll be back because it's what we do.
Exactly, every week.
ChaseTheCinema.com is known as
Film Lovers website.